Last, I'd like to call on Anita Kendrick, the Governance and Environment Consultant with the World Bank in Indonesia. Anita will speak about earthquakes, hurricanes, floods, and more, dealing with natural disasters.
Thank you. We had a very interesting panel of presentations on lessons learned for resilience to natural disasters, covering a range of disasters, including tsunamis, earthquakes, typhoons and cyclones, and floods, from some of the most disaster-prone countries in the world, Indonesia, Bangladesh, India, China, and the Philippines. As the panel was talking about this even before we started the session today, we realized these are all from Asia. And it's very different. The types of shocks that we were addressing from these natural disasters is very different from some of the shocks that we've heard in other panels and sessions, particularly many of the cases of the more slow onset kind of shocks that we've heard about and experiences in, particularly in Africa. So one of the things that came out in the discussion was that these different types of disasters generate different types of response and different types of opportunities for resilience building and resilience programming. And one of the factors there was the degree to which these disasters, one, have any level of predictability, and the other was the extent to which they have human causes and human involvement in the cause. So that was sort of a framework that about the disasters themselves. And then in terms of the presentations and the responses, we really could break that into two main themes that ran through the presentations. First of all was the importance of governance. That came through clearly through all the presentations, that governance is a critical factor at all levels in terms of building resilience to respond to disasters. At the national level, it was stressed that there's a need for coordination and leadership, for building institutions that can respond, for plans and strategies in place. At the local government level, they're really the key for implementation. And so things have to be done at the local level there. And then most importantly was the role of communities, and that's where the real opportunity for building resilience is, and in terms of preparedness, mitigation, and response. And then we looked at really, another thing that came through was disasters as an opportunity for change. Some talked about it as an opportunity for building institutions, and that as a result of these disasters, better institutions for addressing disasters had been created. In Aceh and now in the Philippines, they're using the Build Back Better model, and how that opened up an opportunity for more resilience building and disaster risk reduction thinking to enter into disaster response. And finally, transforming adversity into opportunity and looking at ways to use new water use systems for water-based farming systems in flood-prone regions. So taking advantage of the opportunities the water presents rather than viewing it just as a disaster, and the opportunities for research to help adapt and prepare people and ultimately to save lives.